Hey everybody, it's Brickwaffle, and today I am very happy to present our new, there it is, ocean monument. Well, there used to be an ocean monument there. Now it's a guardian farm. So I've been spending some time up here, AFK in the sky, trying to let some guardians spawn. It's been a couple of hours. I put all of my gear in this ender chest in case I died, because the way down is a little bit steep, but there's a quick way down here. Splash, alright. And then if we can force our way up against the current, I will show you what this looks like. So each of these spawning cells here, you can see there's some guardians coming in. These spawning cells just have flowing water, or source water rather, on one side of this, and then it's flowing across and down all these blocks. Guardians can then fall down out of the flowing water, and you see they get pushed over these fence gates, and I don't want to follow that, because when they do, they'll fall all the way down to just about bedrock, die, and drop their items into a hopper. And those hoppers go into a dispenser clock that kicks them out into a water stream, into an item elevator. And if we're fortunate, maybe we'll see a couple of those go by here in just a second. Oops, let's close that again. But if we wait here long enough, I'm sure a few more will die. You'll see some items come up. They should come up right... Oop. I think one just fell down. So they should come up right about here, go into this water stream, and get pulled into the hoppers. There it goes. Perfect. So all of those items go into these chests. You can see this one's already full. This one has nothing in it because we are starting to back up. Oops. If I can... Well, that's not what I wanted to do. They're starting to back up, or they were starting to back up into one of these hoppers. Maybe they're not now. So you might hear some noise in the background. I have some new cats, and I think they're getting into some trouble, but I'll take care of that in just a minute. Alright, so the next step we wanted to do is maybe to make these into some very basic filters, put some snowballs or something in 4 of these slots, and an item that we want to go through into here, and then that will only allow certain things to go into this system, so we could separate out the prismarine shards from the raw fish, and then when we get these other random things at the end, we could also pull those off and maybe leave those in this random chest. So it looks like somebody was here earlier and their items may have died or dropped some items, but they're over here now. So if another block farmer is watching, you're wondering what happened to those items, they're over there. We do have plenty of storage built up, and I think right now we could, like I said, make this into 4 different kinds of items, or for the short term, since we only have about a stack of shards, or a box of shards right now, and just a few crystals. I think somebody might have come by and grabbed some of those. We're just going to leave it as is. And you can see down here is all of the rows of hoppers. There's some glowstone in the walls to keep monsters from spawning down there. And then that water stream goes into an item elevator. So let's go ahead and take a look down there, go through this maintenance hatch, ride this ladder down. It's a little bit of a walk. And then over here you'll see glass, and you can see some items. They'll shoot out through this dispenser here in a second. There they go. Into a water stream. And then that goes up into the standard item elevator. It's the glass, packed ice, and 2 fence posts, all the way up to the top. Boop. And it looks like that guy dropped some shards too, so that's good. This thing works if you're down here. It's just a little bit more efficient if you AFK way up in the sky. And it's also perfectly safe for you up there because there's a sea lantern for light, and there's really nothing that can get you up there. So anyway, that's the Ocean Monument Guardian Farm. Let's go back through the Nether portal. Oh, what in the world? Okay, well, that was not what I expected to see. A creeper right on the other side of the door that put off the portal. Right then, let me fix that, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so before we were so rudely interrupted, we have decorated this corridor in the Nether so that we have a little bit of a railway system here. I don't have a minecart on me, but this elevator should be relatively safe. What is the light level down here? And no, they couldn't have spawned down here. They must have spawned on the other side of the portal, that creeper did, and then walked through. That's very unusual. So this is definitely bright enough to keep monsters from spawning. Huh. I have no idea what happened there. That's a little strange. So the only thing I can think of is possibly one spawned out there and then came through here, but I don't think they can do that. Or maybe one spawned out here somewhere? I don't know. But for now, let's just go on with what we were going to do today. A little disconcerting that creepers can be just on the other side of the Nether portal waiting for you, but hopefully that was a one-time occurrence. So, I didn't bring any of my equipment from the ender chest. I have one in my base. I'm going to pick it up when we get there, but for now, we'll just walk down this corridor. We had enough stone slabs and prismarine blocks and sea lanterns to go ahead and use some of that here. And this is kind of the plan I'd like to do on the server, is when we have a portal or a hallway to a portal that goes to a specific area, we can decorate it so that everybody knows. And that's a bat. So these portals, one of these portals is definitely open to monsters coming in. Yeah, we'll have to make sure everybody lights up their nether portal in the overworld. But either way, this is pretty obvious when you come through our Nether hub here. You can see there's some storage here. This used to have a bunch of sand in it. I used all of that for glass. There's some miscellaneous items over here still. And then this was our original source of prismarine blocks and things like that from the ocean monument when we mined it out as well. So we do have, and some cobblestone for some of our framing materials. We do have quite a bit of the ocean monument materials to build with, which is great. But when you come up here, it's pretty obvious. Ocean monument, yeah, you can tell that just looking down here. So as we go through, maybe to the Nether fortress, we'll have it look more like a fortress. When we have areas that look like a desert, we'll use some sandstone. Jungle, we can use some jungle wood and some leaves and things like that. End portal we can use with end stone. So that's going to be a project that we do at some point in the future. Maybe we'll do some of that today. But before we get started with that, we do have something else that I would like to do. So let's go ahead and go back into the overworld. And it's possible a creeper followed somebody in through there. That's actually probably what happened. It's pretty dark out here, so maybe we'll light this up a little bit better today. Oh, and that's probably not good since I have no items and 46 levels. Let's just sprint away from a little baby zombie. They're kind of a pain to punch to death. And you know, it's just something wrong, even when there's zombies, about punching a baby to death. It's just not right. So we're going to leave him be, and he seems to have given up following me anyway. We're going to go sleep and make it daytime, get some gear from our ender chest, and then I will get right back with you. Okay, we have some gear now. You can probably see that Lividaz has been doing quite a bit with his castle. Torquata has got a lot going on back here. I'm not going to do a whole lot of spoiling of that yet. I'm going to wait till he says it's ready for me to show off since he's not doing videos just yet. You can see that Zio has cleared out a big area by his massive sugarcane farm. This is for villager trading over here, and he's got a breeder back there where he can pipe them into these little cells to keep them. He's got a beacon. I think Livo has a beacon. If you saw my ender chest earlier, I finally have a beacon, so that's going to make some of our projects a little bit easier. And Sonata Block has finished off his roof there. When we put in the stables, he was pretty happy about that. And that's really it. I'm going to go check on the iron farm because I haven't been over there in a few days. I know this video is coming out a little bit later than usual, and I apologize for that. I ended up getting the flu last week and was pretty much in bed for several days. Definitely was not feeling up to playing any video games. Starting to get motion sick even thinking about playing Minecraft, which is normally not a problem for me at all. So I've been just trying to rest and recover, and hopefully I sound better now. I feel way better, and I'm ready to go back to work tomorrow and start doing more Minecraft videos, get things back on track. So apologies for the delay in videos coming out, and hopefully you guys understand. Let's see how this is doing. Like I said, I haven't been over here in a while. This one doesn't require anyone to AFK at it because it's in the spawn chunks. I wish we kind of had an Ocean Guardian Monument in the spawn chunks, but didn't work out that way. So let's take a peek in here. That's full, that's almost full. That's really good. And those have quite a few. Somebody's been using the iron blocks. That's alright, that's good, that's what they're there for. So this is working pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. No complaints there. I'm sure that our ender pearl chests are full. We'll go ahead and top off on those real quick too. And just throw some extras back in there. That'll let us get around a little bit faster. So I do have a few things to talk about while we're walking around today. I wanted to see what you guys thought about a couple of ideas. I know I used to do a Mod Sauce series, Mod Sauce Let's Play, and a few people were watching that a lot. I can see that some people had stopped. The Hermits have started to get a little bit bored with it, it looks like. I think even Zumavoid has stopped doing Mod Sauce for the time being. I think once you have everything automated and you're just producing materials, it's more like you're logging in and checking on the status of all your automated farms, and there's not a lot left to do unless you have ideas for building structures. And there are some things that I miss from Mod Sauce, certainly. There's some UI improvements that I think would be a great addition to the vanilla game. Things like NEI, even for the basic vanilla recipes, would still be useful for people. We take for granted, those of us that play Minecraft a lot, that we know what most of the recipes are by heart. And new players can struggle. When you tell them things like make a fishing pole, it's not always obvious to them what that means. So I think that'd be a wonderful feature for Mojang to add to the game and let new people kind of be able to easily find the recipes for things. And that way when they add new blocks, people aren't always having to alt-tab out and go look at wikis and see what they can do with things. They can just see in the game, here's what I can do with this, or here's how to make these items that I've seen. So those sorts of things would be nice. But I do miss the modded Minecraft, so I was thinking about trying to do another series, and it would probably take the place of the vanilla every now and then. Maybe once a month, I would go over and do something in this other series instead. I know when I started doing Mod Sauce, I thought, well, I'll do Mod Sauce once a week and vanilla once a week, and that just did not end up being possible for me. With a full-time job and 2 cats and some other things going on in life, this is not a job for me. I just do Minecraft videos because I like to. So I just didn't have the time to do 2 series at once. But I saw Zombie Cleo playing Sky Factory, and I thought that looks pretty neat. It's a straightforward challenge, so if you guys would like to see me attempt Sky Factory, it's kind of like Agrarian Skies, but you start on a single tree on a dirt block in the void, and you have to do everything from there. So it's kind of going back through and learning some of the new mods. Some of them are exactly the same as the Mod Sauce worlds, that'd be great. Some of them are definitely different, like I don't believe Ex Nihilo is in Mod Sauce, and that's how you get things like dirt from saplings and all that stuff that you need in a skyblock type of world. So, oh, that must be the villager breeder, yeah. So like I said, if you guys would be interested in that, please do let me know. Looks like somebody's lit up this area pretty good, so I don't want to use that. If you prefer me to just stick with vanilla, that's cool. I will do that too. And to be quite honest, I do play Minecraft most of the time, but I do play other video games as well. I spend a lot of time in World of Warcraft. It's not a video series that I could monetize, and there's a lot of it that's just kind of dull. You know, nobody wants to see me log in and do chores in my garrison. For those of you that are familiar with that game, there's really not a lot of videos to be made with that, at least from my perspective. So I probably wouldn't do a series on that, but if there are other games that you guys think would be interesting for me to play, I'm definitely interested in doing that as well. I don't want to just copy whatever the other hermits are doing, although I will admit I watch almost all of the hermits, and every time I see one of them do a new game that's kind of cool, I will go check that game out. I have played Creativerse. I'm not sure about that game. It looks really cool, but some of it scares me. It looks like they're going to be adding some ways to kind of add some microtransactions where you can pay to speed up crafting and that sort of thing, and that kind of turns me off. But I've learned about several different games. I ended up playing Banished based on watching some of the hermits. I ended up playing FTL after watching Zuma. This must have been Torquata's initial shack. That's interesting. Things like that. So if there are games that you guys would suggest that you'd like to see me play, I will do that. If it's not a game that I can, monetize on YouTube with ads, I don't care. That's fine. I do put ads in front of the Minecraft videos because I can. I don't really make any money on that. In fact, I'm thinking about just taking the ads back off because I think all total to date, I've only made a couple of bucks from YouTube, and it's not something that I'm going to do as a source of income. I'm just going to make these videos because I like to. So please let me know what you think about that as well. If you are blocking the ads or if they annoy you or anything like that, please let me know in the comments. I'm so used to ads on YouTube, I just thought, well, whatever, I'll leave the ads on. It's not a big deal. I'm used to watching them for other folks, and it's 15 seconds in between most ads. I think maybe 30 seconds. It's a little weird for me because I don't see ads on my own channel, but if you guys, like I said, if you have any thoughts on that, please do let me know that as well. And I think that's probably enough rambling about that for now. So what I'm trying to do, now that I've done all of that talking, is find a good place for another project. And there are some upsides to having the big community town, where we're all pretty close together, which is we can easily trade with each other. If somebody wants to get materials and they say it's okay, you can say, oh, sure, I've got some glass in a chest in my base, go ahead and grab that. The downside to that is it makes it harder if you want a big project. So I need to talk to Sonata Block about this because he's right there, and I'm right up at the top of that hill, and Santania is right up here. But I think I might want to use this area back here for something. So if you've watched my Let's Play series for Vanilla in the past, or you've watched my Mod Sauce Let's Play series, you know that once I get a pretty good base set up, one of the things I like to do is build a little town. And as a Christmas gift, if you watched that episode, you saw that Torquata gave me some bricks that I could use for a new brick town. Hello, bunny. Nope. Oh, so fast. There you are. And you didn't drop anything. Were you too... now I killed a baby bunny and I feel terrible. But, as I was saying, Bricktown has always been something I like to do. It's been a neat place for me to build little creative buildings. Not in creative mode, obviously, but just to be creative. And to build some little buildings that don't really necessarily need to do anything. They just look nice. I know Torquata's going to be working on a little village for his castle. And that's what I really got into Minecraft to start doing, is just to build things. Automation is cool. I really love it, don't get me wrong. But if I'm not building buildings, then the automation is just producing materials that I don't really need for anything. So I've got some trees back here. I've got a couple of jungle trees. They are covered in vines right now. I could probably clear out some of this area. And then this elevator goes down to the slime farm. So we would have to work on a little path that comes down here somewhere. Maybe we could make a path that makes it easier to get from our base to Sonata Block's base anyway. This area right here kind of looks like it could use a path. And we'll have to do some switchbacks. It's a little too steep to just do a 45-degree block-by-block path. Or using slabs like we did out here. That takes up quite a bit of space, as you saw. But we might be able to have something that comes down and turns and comes back and switchbacks a couple of times and comes across here. That would look pretty neat if we can pull that off. And then, like I said, I think I'm going to use this area back here to do Bricktown, because that way if I'm up in my base and I want to see it, I just come up here and I can chuck a pearl down, or I can take the path, and it should be pretty easy to get back and forth. The other option is, depending on where it is on the y-axis, we can potentially have a little ladder or something from down here, where if we drop down, this is going to go right past that ground level. But we can have a path up somewhere over here, maybe put in a woolly vader or something like that. Off on this side, there's the area that goes down to the slime collection, which I haven't checked on in a while either. And yeah, that's pretty full. So we've got plenty of slimes. I could do something with sticky pistons, no problem. And that would also let us have easy access in and out to the slime farm from the brick town as well. Alright, so that's a lot of talking and a lot of planning, and thank you guys for putting up with that. I'm going to get busy on some terraforming when I get back up here and start planning out where I want to have a few buildings. I'm going to put some signs up, and before I do a whole lot of construction, I am going to make sure that it's okay with Sonata Block and Santania, since we are pretty close together, that none of them had any plans for this space back here. So let's go ahead and figure out where we want to put this path. So we don't want to come too close to this thing. We probably don't really want to go any closer than 3 blocks. And this is a pretty decent slope right down here, but you can see it gets very steep very quickly right about on this level. That falls off, what is that, 3 blocks or so, and then goes down into our tree farm. I'm going to go ahead and take these trees down. That's going to be kind of a pain. And before I do that, I should probably sleep as well and make it daytime. Let me throw pearl back up here, and that is going to be, in fact, how we get up on top of those jungle trees to take those out, is with more pearls. So we'll want to clear that out. We can probably use jungle wood, and we also are going to use a few bricks out there. I want to get some signs so I can, like I said, mark out what I'm planning to do, and then I will resume when I have a little progress to show you. Alright, just a brief status update to show that I've taken out these jungle trees, and we've got almost 3 stacks of logs and 4 saplings. You can see that it is currently raining saplings as those leaves decay. So we're going to have plenty of jungle wood to put back there. 8 saplings, so I can easily replace the 2 big trees I had, and probably some more here when this clears out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a crafting bench and put down some fence posts. I'm not going to fence out an entire area, but I'm just going to put a few fences with torches and then a sign so that people can see that I have some plans for the area out here. I do have some signs already, which is great. Let me just stick a crafting bench, I don't know, right here is probably fine. And I'm going to turn all of that into planks, and then all of that into sticks, and then all of that, oops, that's not right. Because you can make fences out of different materials, it always confuses me what the recipe is these days. That's gates? Yeah. So it's got to be the other way around for actual fences, right? Yeah, perfect. There we go. So we got a bunch of fences there, some sticks and some planks, and we've got a few torches. That should be all right. Let's go ahead and turn these into fences as well. There we go. That should be plenty for everything we need. And let's think about the area that we want. So if we go back up a little bit, and let me just throw a pearl back up here. That's a pretty good shot. So we don't want to take up all of this area. I assume that Santania has blocked out this area as kind of the boundary of what he wants to do. That's fine. We can certainly respect that. We're going to come down somewhere around where those 2 grass blocks are, and we'll put our border here, and we'll go out maybe in that area right there. We don't need to be huge with this. And once we start looking at this actual area, that mountain makes a natural barrier, that little hill makes a natural barrier, and this hill over here makes a natural barrier. So that should be fine for our purposes. So we'll come down where this crafting table is, and we're going to throw out a couple of fence posts. Let's throw one maybe here, and we'll put a torch on it, and then we're going to need a sign. Bricktown, coming soon. So people will see this, just like a construction sign when you see a big project underway. We'll keep picking up the saplings as we go by. We do want to keep all of those. We'll use them to replant somewhere else, because jungle wood is an easy material. I really like the fact that you can do fences and gates out of different materials these days, but the only downside is if you're not using the same color for everything, it can look a little inconsistent. So that can be a little bit of a problem. We'll just throw another one up here so that if people don't see it down below, they can see that. Bricktown, I think I did it on that line, coming soon. Something like that. So I can get it. I got it. Perfect. And let's come down here. We don't want to go too far into this open area because that gives Santania quite a bit to work with. Let's maybe stick one over here. Brick Town coming soon. And hopefully he sees that, oops, there, nope. How did I even reach that? Hopefully he sees that I'm not trying to intrude too much on what he's claimed. And if he wants some flat space, that's kind of hard to come by sometimes, so I want to give him some room to work with down here as well. Let's go up by this mountain. That was one of our other barriers. Kind of a natural way, and it looks like somebody may have carved that out at some point. We'll throw one up here somewhere. Coming soon. I know my keyboard is probably really loud. I'm typing very heavily today, so I apologize for that if you can hear that sound. Let's come back down here. This little area is going to make perfect sense for brick towns to be. Brick towns, I don't know why I said that. We'll throw a sign on that one. And torch. And let's come back over here. And we'll leave this little area open. That's kind of getting towards Sonata Block's base anyway. Let's maybe... That's probably alright. We'll share this area. That'll be fine. Let's call this the other spot. And I can always adjust these to, oops, if somebody has plans and they tell me, oh, you know, that's not going to work. I had a plan to build some kind of big thing over there. That's not a big deal. I'm just marking out the general area, and then we can build some buildings in that space later on. So that should be good for now. Interesting, cobblestone over here. Huh. Probably going to leave a lot of these trees. We may end up taking down this hill, or maybe we'll try and build some kind of like little hobbit house in the hill there. Depends on what we want to do. I want to not build the same kind of buildings that I build in other Let's Plays. So I've already done the Tudor houses. I did at one point, I'm going to move that guy. I did a bunch of houses made entirely out of brick. That was a tremendous amount of bricks needed. I do want to use bricks, and I know I've said that word plenty of times now, in the new build, obviously. I wouldn't have called my character Brick Waffle if I didn't like them. But there are other options now. So we have stone bricks, of course, and regular bricks, and we do have some other things that kind of look brick-ish. So we have some chiseled quartz and some just other options, different materials. If we vary it up a little bit, it's going to look all right. And we also have a different kind of landscape we're working with here with all this snow and spruce wood and that sort of thing around. We want these buildings to look like very homey buildings. So I might do the half-timbered stuff like I did in Mod Sauce, where it's got a brick bottom and a wooden upper floor. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know why I made so many fences, but maybe we'll eventually fence this all in. But like I said, for now, that should be good. Let's go back up while it's nighttime and take a look at what this looks like from above. Hopefully we can see all of the little torches. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty good. So this area kind of going around, following that curve, and then coming around this way and then back. That's going to be New Bricktown down there. So if we can leave these trees in, great. The next thing we want to do is figure out where we want to put a path, what makes sense. And it might make sense to come down here and connect over to Sonata Block's bridge, bring this road down. We could even start from here, and that gives us a little bit more space. I don't know if we can really do 45s. The other challenge, though, is somewhere around here, I think, is our secret armory. So we have to be very careful when we're digging that out, that we might end up hitting something we don't want to hit here. We could also come straight down. Maybe let's see if we could come straight down from here. So how far is that? That's... What block am I standing on now? That's 440, 156. And that would be... Oh, wow, because there's a tunnel here, too. That's not going to work very well. Yeah, so we're going to have to come up with something creative. I'm going to do a little bit of playing around. I'm going to go sleep again, and then I will resume in a few minutes when I have a progress update. Alright, so now we have a little bit of a brick path here. So I took out the ladder that used to go up this way. That was kind of just a temporary, always meant as a temporary solution. And now from the back here we have this little brick staircase that goes out this way and then down over to Bricktown, so that Sonata Block can use that if he wants to. We can also get down to his base. And this narrow staircase up here, which we need to torch up a little bit, comes up to this landing, which gives pretty easy access to my base, to the dropper down to the slime farm and all that good stuff. So we have a torch here. We'll probably come back and do some kind of fences around here. Maybe we can use those junglewood fences. I don't think that's going to look great right now, right next to the spruce. Maybe that'd be alright. We'll put a couple of these in, see what we think. We can always replace them later. So if we just do this, take out that torch, and come around that way, That gives us a little bit of a safety area. So let's go ahead and throw some torches on this again, light that up for now. That should keep this area pretty clear. And then we're going to want some torches, maybe one down here. What's the light level going to be at the block? Yeah, that's not so bad. And then maybe one partway down here and one partway down here. So it's a little narrow passage, but it should be pretty obvious. We'll come back and we'll do some cleaning up of that path later. But for now, that works. We might go ahead and widen that up to 3, but as I said, bricks are kind of expensive, and that's as much as I want to use right now. A lot of this is slabs, obviously, but even on the blocks, if I can find one of these where, yeah, like that, I still use slabs just because they're a little bit cheaper. There's a gap underneath that, shouldn't be a problem, and that makes half of these mean that they're not spawnable anyway. So with that done, the next thing we want to do is start planning out where we're going to put some of these buildings. So we need to figure out what kind of buildings we're going to have. That's going to be something else I'd love for you guys to comment on. What sort of buildings should we put in Bricktown? Now we have some things in our base, like an armory and an enchanting area, but there's nothing saying we couldn't move some of those out to Bricktown if we wanted to, or just build other ones. Something like a library might be neat, if we wanted to just put some books in there. I thought there used to be a gate here. That's interesting too. But we could put a library, build some books. We could put a little blacksmith in. We could do our own versions of many of the buildings that are in the standard Minecraft villages. And let's go ahead and sleep again. That might be something that's worthwhile to do. Is it nighttime yet? It's good enough. So we could potentially do that. But like I said, if you guys have any ideas, that's cool. One thing I've also thought about doing is nothing prevents us from doing modern buildings back there. So I know that if you guys watch Hermitcraft, some of you probably watch Keralis, and I just watched his 5-part series on building a modern apartment building. That kind of inspired me to do some modern buildings as well. So we could do that, and then we would have things that wouldn't necessarily be functional Minecraft buildings. You could do like an apartment building even, or a movie theater, or a bowling alley, or swimming pool. Any of those kind of things that would be in a modern city would also be fine to put back here. And that might be something unique to do. So I would love to build whatever you guys would be interested in watching. Please do put in the comments what you'd like to see. So that is the project that we've got mapped out, and the next step, like I said, is to gather some materials. That's going to depend on what kind of buildings we want, so I'm not going to do anything more on that today because I want to hear from you guys before I continue much further. So we're running a little low on food. The next thing we'll do is try and breed up some sheep, and we'll take some of the food that's there. And then we will go on to, let's see, that's not the right button. It's up here now. I moved this around and redesigned it, and I haven't used it in a while. There we go. So let's give these guys some wheat for a few minutes. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go back into the Nether, and we're going to start looking at how to decorate some of those portals based on where they are. Obviously the desert portal will be pretty easy to do. We'll leave that alone for now. Push the babies across. That works great. We need to get some more wheat as well, so let's go ahead and do that. The desert portal and the jungle portal will both be fairly easy. I believe we also have a portal to a dark oak forest somewhere. That would be pretty interesting to do. So maybe we'll go ahead and do a little of that today while I'm waiting to hear from you guys on what we should put in New Bricktown. So let me go ahead and replenish these crops, and then I will be right back. Oh, why are those dehydrating? There's water right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why. It's too far. I'm kind of surprised they didn't dehydrate earlier. We're just going to stick water somewhere nearby. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll just move the farm in one. That's probably the easiest thing to do. We don't really need that much wheat anyhow. And that's going to pop off in just a minute. We'll have to move that. And obviously we have a mesa biome somewhere, so we can decorate that with some clay and different things as well. Some of the materials I'd like to use are the red sandstone and that sort of thing that we haven't seen in a while. Where? Oh, okay. It went right there. Never mind. Red sandstone would be kind of cool, just because we haven't used it a lot. And then there are some other new materials. Obviously, we've used some prismarine lately. I'm sure that the people on the server that helped me dig out that immense ocean monument, which was a cool collaboration effort. I'm sorry that didn't get recorded. I thought I was recording a lot of that, and it turns out that I was not, and that was partly because I was feeling so ill when we did the initial set of digging. It was right before I got the flu. So that didn't all work out. I wasn't 100% there, but it was neat, and I think Zeotech is going to put up some either pictures or maybe a video about that effort as well. So that'll be kind of neat to see. You can look forward to that when he gets that video posted. Let's put put those there, put the wheat in there, and then we'll go store some of this material and we'll pick back up in the Nether. Alright, so this area, it heads over to the roofed forest, and you can see I've used some dark oak and some glowstone, and this is going to be set up to have a rail in the future. But for now, if we run down here, you can see at the very end there's a portal. This is all half slab, so nothing can spawn on it. Things can spawn here, but eventually when we put in some rails and some glass to keep things from having the space there, they won't spawn on that either, and this will be nice and safe. The other thing I did was we used to have the portal for our roofed forest up on top of a tree, and I have moved that down to ground level. So at some point in the future we may change the shape of these portals so that it's just portal. Right now you can see that there's a little bit of a jump here. You could walk into it, and there is dark oak at the back of the portal as well. When we come through here, we're out in nighttime, unfortunately, so hopefully no creeper spawn, but that's the edge of the roofed forest. So we're going to go back through. And we're right here, and there's a pigman on the logs. So yeah, I think this pattern looks okay. I'm not super thrilled with that little bit showing through. I could change it, but for now, stairs worked out pretty well with some slabs. And this is going to, I think, be very obvious where this portal goes. So we're going to kill this pigman and see if we made any of the others aggressive. There generally aren't too many up here. But we're going to go to the next area and do something very similar. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you would like to see more progress updates, sometimes I'm really bad about building on camera. I do a lot of derpy things. If you really would like to see that, please let me know that in the comments as well. But generally I like to do a few things, show some progress updates. And I had thought I had given you a status update halfway through, but I had not actually unpaused the recording, so I'm sorry about that. I will try to do better with the next one. So we're not going to do anything with approaches to people's bases. We're going to leave those alone. We are going to head back towards the spawn area. And the only other thing I did was I lowered this little platform here. This used to be just 2 tall, so now it's 3.5 tall. And this means that this platform is level with where we come in this spawn, level all the way down there, and level all the way that way. So that's going to be the kind of way I want to do things going forward. The next area we're going to tackle is probably going to be Jungle, Desert, and End Portal. I probably won't do all of those in this episode. I did put a little bit of spruce and the polished diorite, I believe that is, for Sonata Block, since that's near his base. And we left this little area down into the Nether here for now. At some point we'll have to go back through and do all the hallways and everything too if we're going to do that. But for now, that's a lot of work and it's a lot of stone, so we're going to leave that alone for the time being. So let's come back here. I think that's just somebody had some quartz. And what's the next one? What's the next closest? Is it the end or is it the jungle? It's the end portal. So let's go ahead and do this one. This is going to be a fairly short run as well. The first thing we have to do is obviously go get some end stone. And we probably won't run a rail from here down there. This will just be a walking path because I believe the rail is just going to be going down this hallway anyway. So we'll have to put in some kind of switching place or an activator rail you can get dumped out here and then walk down this way. So we're going to need a lot of end stone. Let's go ahead and dig some of that up. And we'll continue in, well, I'll just do that all on camera. That should be fine. We're going to want to also fill in the back here. That looks not so great when you're coming through. So this area is going to look good. We might actually redecorate this room at some point, but for now I think this little approach is fine. And let's jump on through here. And that is one thing I miss about the mods, is more kinds of materials other than just raw end stone. Looks like our item elevator has been shooting some ender pearls out in different directions. And we are just going to chuck this gold sword and this rotten flesh. We don't need that. I guess we could also use some obsidian if we really wanted to, but that is going to take some time. Efficiency 5. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and bring my beacon if I want instant mine on this, aren't I? Okay, so let me go back and get my beacon set up, and I will resume here in just a moment. Alright, so I spent a little bit of time building a pyramid for this beacon so that we can get haste 2. You can see that here. But unfortunately I was misremembering. It's not quite instant mine, but it is at least pretty fast. So we're going to use this and just gather a bunch of end stone. And then we're going to do the bit of decoration on the end portal tunnel. And I will give you a progress update when I've started that pattern so you can see what I'm going to do. And then I'll finish it up. So that's probably going to be the last thing we do on today's episode. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. And I will be back with you here in just a moment to see what the portal tunnel looks like. Alright, so we've started with the end portal here, and I've got some mossy stone bricks rather, and some regular stone brick slabs here, and some end stone, and then what I've got for this pattern here is some end stone and some sandstone, because they look pretty decent together, and then some obsidian and some sea lanterns. And this won't be a very difficult pattern to replicate down the hallway. we're just going to have to take out a few more sections. The only concern I have is that when I duplicate this, if I go 3 more here, it's going to be a big run of 6 with just end stone. That might be a little bit dull. And then every, 6, 8, 10 blocks, there'll be a sea lantern. That's probably okay. And this isn't a very long passageway, but what we might do is start at the other end and duplicate the same pattern, and then if there's a little bit of overlap in the middle, we might have a little bit of odd spacing. So we'll probably take some more of this mossy stone brick, which I need to go back to the stronghold and mine out. But I do have the rest of the materials. That shouldn't be a problem for me to finish this up. It's not a very long stretch, and I will show you what that looks like when it's all done. Alright, and you can hear the nether portal behind me, I'm sure, but this is the hallway finished. I just had to move one of these one block a little bit so that the spacing would line up a little bit better. I don't think you're going to notice when you're walking down this hallway, and again, it should be pretty obvious that when you're walking down here, you're headed towards the end. So I think that's another success, and I think we're also going to wrap up the episode there. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button. If you really liked it, then please subscribe. And as always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.